Hey, what's up guys? Just doing an update on the 40 breeder. I got the two Kessil A150WE lights hung up about an hour ago, and they're looking pretty sweet. I like the shimmer effect that Kessil's known for, that I had expected, and I'm really happy the way they came out. So I went with two because I figured one wasn't going to be enough. So I set one up directly in the middle first, and it proved to be right. It wasn't enough. The edges were a little shadowy, and it just didn't look quite right. So glad I went with two. I just hung them a little bit higher to kind of break up the par a little bit. I just want to let these kind of acclimate, these plants. A lot of these plants in here are fairly new. I'll give you guys a close-up here in a minute. Something I wanted to point out, when you guys are going from, when you guys have glass tops on your tanks, and if they're the style like mine were, where they have a black hinge in between them, when you start bringing your lights higher and higher up, you're going to notice a shadowing effect. You might even notice it with your lights sitting on top, but a lot of people kind of just put their lights, next to that strip and not over it when they're resting on the tank. So you'll notice pretty quickly that when you start to protrude light from high over the tank, you're going to get a real big shadow from that. So I just wanted to point out, if something looks funny to you and you can't quite figure it out right off, it's probably that. And you can just easily remove that and take it out, or buy a set that has a clear hinge in it. I don't know if they make them. I've always had to take mine out, but you don't have to do that. I mean, if you can live with it, it's fine, but it does make a big difference. I had a couple plants that were completely blacked out. They're just little stocky plants, and that's how I noticed it right off the bat. So what I do is I'm going to show you right here. We're going to do a little close up here, and I'll show you basically how I have it set up so that you can. And now keep this in mind, I've got the camera in one hand and the other hand's free. So I'm about to show you how easy it is to just lift this thing up with one hand. You just pick up here, grab with a thumb, and slide it over. And I'm doing that trying to look in the camera so that I can see. But it's fairly easy. You can do it with one hand. It's no big deal. It's not for everybody, but it definitely eliminates that shadowing effect. So the black skirt tetras are doing well. I had a little ammonia scare for a little bit, but I seem to get that under control. The ADA soil definitely was the culprit. But all in all, things are looking pretty decent. They're settling in. Got excited about some new plants in here. I want to see how they do. We're going to be adding CO2 probably in the next couple days. I got a tank and a regulator. I just need to get the tank filled. So I'm going to diffuse it in here with a regular diffuser because it's a pretty small tank. I mean, a 40 shouldn't be too bad. I should be able to get adequate CO2 levels in here. I'm going to use a drop checker at first for probably a week or so just to see where I'm at and dial it in. And no ferts at this time, just kind of battling nutrient overdose right now from the ADA. You get a little bit of algae here and there on some of the leaves, but not too bad. They're actually looking pretty good today. But yeah, do a water change later today. Hopefully that will help out. And that's it, guys, pretty much. So these are pretty loud, the fans. Sure you can hear that, but not a big deal for me. My lights turn off before I go to bed, so I don't know, I guess if you have them, I mean, this tank's in my bedroom, but like I said, they'll be off at 10 o'clock. Usually not in bed before 10, and if I ever decided to go to bed early, I'll probably just switch off the timer so the lights kick off. But it's not something that would bother me, and I'm glad that they're cooling as well as they are. They're using a nice fan in there. So my A360s are silent compared to these, but yeah, that's it, guys. Just want to give you a quick update. And hey, let's take a quick peek at the big tank while we're here. Might as well. It's doing well. Fish are hungry.